What up, YouTube? Ed WeskerGriff coming back with my first video since the National, and got a couple cards to show off. Nothing too crazy, all small purchases. Haven't gone crazy and bought a whole bunch of stuff after the show. Just have been taking it really easy. Most of these cards came in while I was in Chicago, and there's been so many videos, so much content, that dreaded C word, so much content that has come out during the National that I find myself still catching up on videos, still catching up on recaps, and stuff I did not get a chance to see while I was in Chicago. Because when I was out there in Chicago, I did not watch any recaps in any videos. So when I came home, there was just a huge plethora of videos to choose from, and just, there were so many people there, as we all know. So there's just so many videos and recaps to check out, and I do want to check them all out, because it's just another part. It's a kind of an extension of the show, in my opinion, to see everyone's unique perspective and what they did and what they saw and what they picked up. So I very much enjoy that, and I am trying to knock out all those videos. So if you did a recap video, or you have footage from the show and I might not have seen it, comment down below. I would love to check it out. Also, I did a video on the IRP, the Insert Revolution podcast, with Steve, Amish Dave Archer, Vinny, and Brad was also on there, Brad 8671. And we talked about our experience at the National, me and Brad, both the positive and the negative, and all our observations from the show. And Brad, it was his first ever time at the National. For me, it was my fourth National, so we kind of had a little different perspectives. And it was really cool to have that conversation. I think we talked for 2.5 hours, almost 3 hours. So I will leave the link down below for that video, and we unpack a lot of different things in that discussion on the IRP, and it was really fun to talk about it. And I find myself, even though I have talked about the National in length on my channel and on other people's channel, I still find, even watching other people's videos, that we could talk about the National for like 5, 6, 7 hours. There's still things that we don't touch on, or that we might forget while talking about. That's just how expansive and how big the show was. So I'm really curious to see how Atlantic City will be in 2022. And I think the National sent out an email today saying that in their survey, for the general admission and for the VIP packages, over 48%, 48 or 49% of people surveyed said it was their first ever National. So the hobby is really, really strong right now, and it's trending towards a good direction. So I'm just curious to see if it can sustain that in a more remote location, and not out-of-state friendly location, I guess you can say, for Atlantic City. But I am geared up. I'm hyped up for Atlantic City, and I can't wait for it. And it was just an incredible experience. I know we keep talking about it. We keep kind of repeating ourselves on the various channels that you may hear, but the National this year it lived up to the hype. It delivered on the hype, and it lived up to it. Kind of like The Dark Knight, when that came out. I know the hype surrounding that. That's the good thing about the National, to use a movie metaphor. When The Dark Knight came out, it had so much hype to it. How was Heath Ledger going to be as the Joker? All this stuff. And it delivered. It's one of the best comic book movies of all time. And the National was kind of like that. Whereas, it could have went the other way. It could have went the opposite way, where a more recent film, Star Wars The Last Jedi, that movie had so much insane hype to it. Everyone was so over the moon over it to get a chance to see that, since Force Awakens ended on this gigantic cliffhanger. and then you get in the theater and did not deliver on the hype. Gut puncher. So the National was not like that. It was just an incredible experience, and I can't wait to share that with you guys again. And just want to show this card again. You know, I'm just very, very proud to have this card back in the collection, and I think I'm more proud on the way I was able to get it back into the collection, because essentially I traded this card for an $8 value box card that I got at a local mall show a couple years ago. That's kind of how I'm looking at the trade. I traded my Ohtani refractor that I've shown on the channel many times. I talked about the trade in my recap video, but I'm just really, really pleased to get this card back in the collection. And this was a card, you know, that I hated. I'm going to use the H word. I've hated this card for quite a while, and I don't think people really understand that when I tell people that. Like, I legitimately hated this card for a long time, and it was kind of a black cloud for me in regards to the hobby. I just, you know, out of sight, out of mind, didn't want to see this card, didn't want to, you know, see anyone show it off. As soon as someone would talk about the card, I would just get angry. But I'm glad that I was able to get this card finally back, finally in the collection where it's going to stay for an insanely long time. Maybe a casket card. But I think at the end of the day, I'm more happy that the way I was able to secure the card. And Mark was with me, Stove Sports, so he saw this entire thing transpire. But to be able to get this card with no cash exchange in hands, and to trade the Ohtani, which again I got out of a value box for a couple bucks, that just goes to show you guys, like, it always infuriates me, it always frustrates me as a collector when you have people out there that try to smack talk or belittle maybe people who go through value boxes and search value boxes, because if you put in the time and you look through those boxes, you can find some truly incredible cards. They might not be, you know, earth-shattering cards at the moment you buy them, at the moment of purchase. They might become that later down the line. You know, the Ohtani card, when I bought it, you know, Ohtani wasn't a guy people were gravitating towards. And I just got lucky finding that card, and I was, you know, fortunate to find a dealer that was willing to dance in that type of deal. But it just goes to show that if you put the time in, if you put the effort in, and if you look through these value boxes, you can really find some great cards for your collection. And you might also find a card or cards that can help you get a card that normally you would not be able to get. Either monetary wise, or it's just too expensive of a card to land. It might help you. So this video is 8 minutes. I don't even know if I should post this one, but 8 minutes of me rambling on, talking. Hopefully there's some type of cohesive message in there, or stuff makes sense. But I guess this will pop up on the channel. I'll post this video because I only got a couple things to show. But this week I did go up to Cooperstown, New York. It was my first time at the Baseball Hall of Fame. Me and Mike O went up there, and it was an absolute pleasure to go into the Baseball Hall of Fame. We spent, I think, close to 4.5 hours in there. We went in for 2.5 hours, got lunch, and then came back and were in there for another 2.5 hours. We went to all the various card shops that are in the town of Cooperstown. Most of them were insane. It was like going through a time machine back to like the late 80s, early 90s with some of the pricing. I mean, some of the pricing was absolutely ridiculous. I saw a Felipe Lopez rookie card for like $20. I also saw a 89 Donruss rated rookie of Ken Griffey Jr. for like $40. So that should tell you. That should tell you it's like It's like going through. It's going through time there. The Dusty Beckett's reign supreme in some of these shops, but it was real fun. It was cool. Kind of almost gave me a nostalgia feeling. But I did find a card that I did buy there, and I actually bought it from the Hall of Fame gift shop. This was the card I purchased. Just thought this was an absolute steal for the price. This is a Todd Helton Donner Signature Series autograph card. As you can see there, it was $24.99. And these are numbered out of 1,000. So this one's numbered 844, but they're numbered out of 1,000. It's from 1997, which I believe is Helton's first certified autograph card. It's the first year that his certified autograph card started popping up. But in the same case, they had like Sean Green for like 30, and then they had Jim Abbott for like 35. And neither of those guys are probably ever going to sniff the Hall of Fame. Todd Helton has a legitimate chance, and I believe he will get in the Hall of Fame eventually. So I was kind of surprised that his stuff was as cheap as it was. So I don't know how long this card was sitting there for, but I pulled the trigger. Came with the magnetic, the one touch. So thrilled about that. I thought I got a really solid deal there on this card. So the Todd Helton. Also did pick up two Hall of Fame postcards here. We got I had to get the Doc Holliday one. His plaque was not there since the Phillies retired 34, and the Hall of Fame plaque was actually in Philadelphia for his ceremony. And then I also picked up this Joshua Gibson, who has 800 home runs, according to the statistics from the Negro Leagues. And I believe I could have sworn I read that they were supposed to legitimize those statistics, but that would make him the all-time home run leader, I think, if they were going to do that. But I couldn't remember. It was a couple months back where they were talking about that. But figured I'd pick this one up as well. Just loved going around there. It was a lot of fun. And then next, I actually went to a concert tonight. Been going to a couple concerts. Saw Modest Mouse at the Met, and also saw Modest Mouse up in Cooperstown. That was an adventure. But today, Tuesday, went to see Japanese Breakfast at the Union Transfer here in Philadelphia. And the reason I'm talking about going to concerts is because at Japanese Breakfast's merch table, they actually had her book that was signed. They were selling signed copies, so I figured since this is autograph related, I showed it in the video. But this is her memoir book. Highly recommend checking out this book if you guys are into a new book that you want to find out and read. But it's a memoir from Michelle Zauner, who is the lead singer of Japanese Breakfast, and this was a signed copy. And I'm not really into signed books. It's not really my thing, but where else am I going to find something like this? And they were selling it at the merch table. So I figured I add it to the collection. And I have read half the book already. I have another copy of it. So it's been a great read. So I highly recommend that. It's really great story, and it's a good read. So, and the concert was absolutely incredible. It's probably been one of the best shows I've been to in a couple years, easily. It was just electric. The music sounded amazing, vocals, stage presence, the charisma. It was great. So I had a blast there. Speaking of non-sports and music stuff, big shout out to Henry S. because he was talking about these Panini Smash Hit cards, and I got two Panini Smash Hit stickers. Well, I called them cards. They're stickers. These are both from 1987. These are from the same sets. So the first one here are the Sex Pistols. So found a seller that was selling this, and this one is actually in really good condition. I'm kind of surprised how good of condition it's in. and I do want to get these graded. I think I might go the SGC route, just because the reason I want to get them graded is because I want them for my collection, obviously, but to store these cards is going to be difficult because they don't make penny sleeves for this type of size, and I don't want to keep them in the rigid holders the whole time. So on the back here it says the Sex Pistols, and then it gives a little biography there. It's basically talking about the time that they went on television in the UK on I think it was the Bill Grundy show, and the host was in the bag. He was drunk. Queen was supposed to originally appear, but they couldn't make it. Something was up with Freddie Mercury, and so they got the Sex Pistols in there. And the Sex Pistols, you can watch it. It's all over YouTube. They let the guy have it. So Sid Vicious is pictured here, which I'm kind of surprised that they chose this image because Sid is not an original member. So either way, very cool card. Steve Jones there on the end. Johnny Rotten, very cool. So, and then the other card here that I got, and this is the reason that I was originally checking out the set, is this is from Smash Hits Collection 1987. This is the Smiths. So I thought this image was, I've never seen this picture before. The reason that this is really cool for a diehard Smiths fan like myself is because Craig Gannon is actually in the center there. He was the fifth Smith. He was only on the Queen is Dead tour, so he was only in the band for like a couple months. Did a couple recordings with them. Believe he was on the Panic single was the first one that he worked on, and then he was also on Ask and the B-sides for both those songs, but then that was it. So he was only on that Queen is Dead tour when they toured the U.S. and those two singles, and then he was not in the band. And apparently he didn't have the greatest relationship with Johnny Marr. And here Johnny Marr is holding a microphone to Greg. So, I mean, and they look happy in the photo. And then you got Andy there on the end and Mike Joyce. And then obviously Morrissey's there next to Craig. So, pretty cool photo there. And something I've never seen before. So this came out in 1987. 87 is the year that the Smiths broke up. So there on the back is a little synopsis there. So that says nothing about the breakup. So I'm assuming that this came out in the spring. But these were printed in Italy. But very, very cool. This one's in way more rough shape than the other one. Than the Sex Pistols one, but I think I'll still get it graded. And the final thing here that I have to show off is a Project 70 card. It is the Mike Schmidt Project 70. Just love the look of that. Project 70, I was telling a couple of guys this at the National, I really wish they would start incorporating more players and stop using the same ones. I feel like every time I check the Project 70 list, they're using the same players. It's driving me a little nuts. But King Saladin did this one, and I don't think they made too many of Schmidt. This just looks incredible. Love this. King Saladin did a great job there. And then you have the Philly skyline there in the background. So love this one. This was an automatic buy for me. But that's all I got for you guys. I'm really sorry that this video is going on almost 20 minutes. And honestly, I didn't show much. It was just mostly me talking about the National and some of the things going on with me. But maybe some of you guys enjoyed. And I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch the video. So leave a comment down below. Tell me what you think. And I hope everyone out there is doing well. So take care. Have a great one. Enjoy, guys. Peace.